Welcome to this Proconxol video with the Regulatory Expert Riazur Rahman. In this session, we will walk you through how to submit an Electronic Medical Device Report or eMDR to US FDA using the new ESG Portal system. You'll learn how to accurately complete the Form 3500A, prepare your electronic files, and ensure a compliant and successful submission. So, let's get started. There are 4 steps in MDR submission. First step is setting up for eMDR submission, which involves creating a web tour account, submission of test data, and receiving a production account. Second step is preparing MDR submission, which involves gathering information, preparing MDR in XML format, utilizing eSubmitter to submit that file to FDA, creating a MedWatch 3500A form, and a package files. Step 3 is submitting the MDR, which will be done via a web tour account. And step 4 is confirming submission success. In this video, we will start from the step 2, assuming that you already have a web tour account to submit the MDR. So let's begin. To begin the MDR submission, we will require an eSubmitter program. That program can be downloaded from the FDA's website. If you are using a Mac operating system, the Mac OS version is also available on FDA's portal. A detailed description of the software, user manual, quick guide, and FAQs are provided on FDA's website. Let's download the software and show you how to install in your Windows computer. While installing the software, please remember the installation directory so that once the installation is complete, we can go into that folder and open the application. The software has been installed. Now we're going back to that folder where the software has been installed. And we will locate the eSubmitter application and open it. For the first-time user, it will ask us to register, and the registration information will involve your personal information and the company information. Registration involves confirmation of your email. Once you confirm the email by sending an email to FDA, you can begin preparing the MDR file creation. We will start by clicking the Create New Submission button. Once we click that, we will get the first screen where we'll have to select the submission type from this list. As you can see, there are different FDA's departments and also the form types. So here we will select MedWatch Form 3500A for our MDR submission. Once we select that, we will hit the next button, and then we will provide a descriptive name and a file name. Once we click the Create button, we will see the first screen, that is Report Introduction. In this page, you can see it says Medical Device Adverse Event Report. We will hit the Next Error button to progress into the file creation. Once we click the next button, we will see the next screen is the report number. Here we will generate a report based on different options. So here we are the manufacturer, so we will select the MFR report. If you are a user facility or an importer, you'll use those information. Here we will provide our manufacturer FEI number. After the FEI number, we will provide 2025 as the year and 01 as the first report. The next screen is the Part A of the eMDR form. In this Part A, we will provide the patient information we have available based on the incident. Here, this Part A asks for patient identifier, age, sex, section removed, patient weight, ethnicity, race. If you don't have any of those information available, you can leave it blank. The next screen will show the Part B of the eMDR form, where we have to provide the adverse event or the product problem related information. First, we have to say what kind of report is it? Is it an adverse event or is it a product problem? Here, we are selecting product problem for the complaint that we have received. Next, select the outcomes attributed to the adverse event. If any of those applicable, please check those boxes and provide the date of event and date of this report that you're going to submit. Section 5, we will provide a concise but complete description of the adverse event or product problem. The narrative should summarize what happened, the sequence of events, and any relevant medical or product details. We have to avoid any speculation or assumptions, and we need to focus on the facts available. Section B6 is used to capture any clinical test, diagnostic procedure, or laboratory data that are relevant to the adverse event or product problem. This may include patient laboratory results, imaging studies, or device testing data. When completing this section, be sure to include the name or the type of the test performed, the date it was performed, and the outcome or key findings. An example can be device leak test performed on February 14, 2025 indicated a crack at the distal lip. For this submission, we will just write the information was not provided. Section B7 is intended to capture other relevant patient history that may help the FDA and the manufacturer understand the context of the event. This includes pre-existing medical conditions, prior surgeries, concurrent medications, allergies, or any relevant background information. When completing this section, provide concise but meaningful detail such as chronic illnesses, diabetes, hypertension, COPD, surgical history related to the device use, allergies or sensitivities, lifestyle or medical factor that could influence the outcome. For example, the patient has a history of hypertension and chronic kidney disease. For this exercise, we will just mention that information was not provided by the user. The next screen, section C, is used to capture information about suspect product if they are drugs or biologics. But for medical devices, this section is not generally applicable. That's why we will select no. But if combination device is involved, for example, drug device combination, details of the drug component should be included here. Provide the product name, dose, route of administration, and therapy dates if those are relevant. The section D is dedicated to medical device associated with the event. Here we have to provide the brand name, common device name, and the device part code. The applicable 3-lettered part code can be obtained from FDA database. For this video training, we will use SCA as the part code. In the section D3, we will provide the manufacturer's information, which involves the establishment name, email address, physical address, and the phone number. In the section D4, we will provide the additional device information, such as model number, catalog number, serial number, lot, and expiration date, and also UDI if that is available. Section D5 will ask whether the device was operated by the lay user or the healthcare professional or someone else. Section D7A asks whether the device was reprocessed or reused on a patient. For us, the answer is no. If you selected yes in the 7A, you have to provide the name and address of the reprocessor in section D7B. You will also provide information if the device was ever serviced by a third party or if the device is available for evaluation in the section D8 and section D9. In D10, list any other medical products, drugs, biologics, or devices that the patient was using at the time of the event, and include therapy dates for each product. Do not include products used to treat the adverse event itself. Providing this information helps FDA understand potential interaction or contributing factors. The section E captures information about the individual who first reported the adverse event. In the subsection E1, we will provide the reporter's name, address, and the phone number. Section E records information about the person who first reported the event, include their full name, occupation, and whether they are a healthcare professional, along with complete contact detail. It also captures the reporter's relationship to the event, such as patient, healthcare provider, or company representative. This section ensures FDA and the manufacturer have reliable point of contact or follow-up clarification. In section G, we're going to provide all the manufacturer information. It's G1, manufacturer and contact office or person information. We will provide the manufacturer's full name, address, along with the name, department, office to respond to FDA inquiries. G2, we will provide the report source. We will indicate how the report was originated. In the section G3, we will provide the date received by the manufacturer. It's the exact date the manufacturer first received the event information. This establishes the report timeline. Section G4 is the pre-market identification. We have to provide any pre-market submission identifiers such as 510K number, PMA number, or de novo references. Section G5, if it is an IND or pre-NDA, we have to give the protocol numbers. And for section G6, we will give the type of report, specify whether the report was initial submission, follow-up, or both. Section G7, we will say the adverse event terms, list the medical terms or codes used to classify the adverse events. And section G8 is manufacturer report number. We will provide a unique internal code that any manufacturer are assigning to their complaint received. We have to note here, if the product is manufactured by a contract manufacturer, we will actually provide the contract manufacturer's information here. Section H shall be completed by the device manufacturers only. Subsection or part H1 is for type of reportable event. We will specify whether the event is a death, injury, or malfunction. In our case, it's malfunction. H2 is if follow-up or what type. So we'll indicate what type of follow-up it is. Is it additional evaluation results, correction, or updated information? For H3, we will say device evaluated by manufacturer or not. In our case, we did not receive the device, so we will say no. H4, device manufacture date. Enter the date the device was manufactured as available from labeling or production records. H5, labeled for single use. Specify whether the device was intended for single use only, and if applicable, whether it was reused. Our device is an in vitro diagnostic device, and it's a single use device, so we will select yes for H5. H6 talks about the adverse event problem. we will select and document the appropriate problem codes from the FDA coding manual to classify reported issue. And I will show in detail how to find those codes and how we can correlate those FDA codes with eMDR codes in this video. There are 7 different types of adverse event reporting codes: Annex A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Annex A provides codes related to medical device problem. Annex G provides codes related to device components. Annex B, C, and D provides codes related to cause investigation, such as type of investigation, investigation findings, investigation conclusion. Type E and F provides health effect related codes, and Annex G provides device component related codes. Let's find out more about the eMDR adverse event code. First of all, we'll search by eMDR adverse event code on Google, and from there we will go to FDA's website. If you want to learn more about the adverse event codes, you can use FDA's website. It's a great resource. And FDA website lists eMDR websites information as well. And here I'm going to show you how to find those codes very easily, because eMDR codes and FDA codes are interrelated. So first of all, there is a resource link on FDA's portal that takes us to the NIH website, and NIH website has a very good Excel file as a resource where they show the eMDR code and its correlated FDA adverse event code. So what we will do, we will first download that file, and I'll show you how we can provide or input the right information in the appropriate section of our eMDR form. So here you can see that we downloaded the file, and there are different columns here. You can see that CDRH source code, that's the FDA code, and at the very end, the last column I, that says eMDR code. So what we will do here, we will go to the eMDR website, and because the website is very structured, so we will find our appropriate section codes, and then we will come back to this Excel file, search that eMDR code into the Excel file, and then find the relevant FDA CDRH code, and we will input that code onto this form, and we'll be done. For this exercise, I'm going to intentionally skip the clinical code E, and towards the end of the video I'll explain why. Now I'm going to start with the impact code F. First, we will go to the eMDR website and look for that Annex F. Here we will read carefully and explore all the different codes and their subcodes to find out the exact code that applies to our complaints or device issues that we have in our hand. In this example, we will select F24 as our code. F24 shows the insufficient health impact information. Now in the Excel file, we'll search for that F24 and we'll find out the associated CDRH code, which is 4648. We'll return back to the form and we will type 4648 in the impact code, and we will select that and hit OK. We will follow the same process to find out the other remaining adverse event codes from the eMDR website and search in the Excel file to find out relevant CDRH code, and then complete the H6 form, and we will proceed. After H6, we'll move to H7, remedial action by the user facility or importer. If known, describe any corrective or remedial action already taken by the user facility or the importer in response to this event. H8, usage of device. Indicate how the device was being used at the time of the event. Was it initial use? Was it for diagnosis or treatment, monitoring, or another purpose? H9, action reported to FDA under 21 U.S.C. 360G. If applicable, list all the corrective action or removal report numbers submitted to FDA. H10, related report numbers. Provide any related eMDR report numbers that connects this case to the other submissions. H11, additional manufacturer narrative. Include any further explanation or context from the manufacturer, such as investigation detail, supporting information, or clarification for FDA's reviewers. We have reached the end of the form. Here, we can add any files related to this eMDR submission. After that, we will hit the next button. And as you can see, we are seeing a warning which says you have reached the end of the submission form. However, the report is incomplete due to missing data. Select the missing data report from the output menu to easily identify all missing responses. So now we're going to go to the top menu, and here from the output we will select the option report output dialog, and we will hit the button OK. It will generate a report indicating which information we have missed. So here, as you can see, we have missed an information in the section G. We forgot to provide an email address, and also in the section H4 to H6. So we will go back to that section and input the information. If you remember in the beginning, I mentioned that I intentionally skipped the part E of the adverse event reporting code. This is the reason I wanted to give you an example. If we leave an important section, and which is mandatory, then it will throw an error so that we go back and fix it. So as you can see that it showed us that we forgot to add that information. Now we are fixing that section and coming back. So after that we will again go all the way to the end of the form and figure out if there is any additional missing information or not. If there is no other missing information, then we will be ready to export the file and for the submission. We have provided all this missing information. We will continue clicking the next button, and then once we reach out to the end of the form, we will click the output button and then select the package submission file. From here, we will provide a file name, and we will also select a package output location. We have to remember the output location to find out the package that will be exported from this eSubmitter. So we'll hit next. And you can see the status complete, and hit next again. And here's the confirmation of submission package created successfully. Then, as you remember, the URL link or the folder location, we'll go back to that folder and find out the exported file. Now that we have created the submission package, we will go to the output option and select submission report. This will give us a PDF report of the form that we have just completed. We will save this form for our future references as a record. And the folder location that I previously mentioned that we have to remember, if we go to that folder, the first PDF that you see, 3500A, is actually the PDF we just exported. And the second compressed file is the eMDR CF-XXX01. This is the file that we're gonna upload on WebTrader account, and that's gonna be sent to FDA as a part of eMDR submission. If we go back to the eSubmitter, and we can actually open the previously submitted MDRs, and we can also modify those. You can play around all those options and learn more about the eSubmitter software. Is to upload the file that we just created using eSubmitter and submit it to FDA via WebTrader account. Now that we have generated package submission files, we will be proceeding to the step number 3, which is eMDR submission. To submit the eMDR, we will need a software installed in our computer, which is called File Catalyst Transfer Agent. If we don't have that software installed, we will not be able to upload the submission to the WebTrader account. So what we will do, we will look for that File Catalyst Transfer Agent on Google, and we will get a detailed instruction on how to install the software in our computer. I'm not gonna explain that process in this video. The detail can be found online, and this is a PDF that you can download from FDA's portal, where it exactly shows how to install that. After installing the software, we will go to the ESG portal of FDA. We will log into that ESG portal, assuming that you already have an ESG account. If you don't have an account, you'll have to follow a lengthy process, and it's well documented on FDA's website. We will accept the security warning and proceed to the next step. Now we're gonna sign on using our email and password. This is the first screen that pops up. Here we will select the new production submission, and this screen shows create production submission. Here we will upload the zip file that we have created just now using the eSubmitter, and we will recall from our memory where the file was saved, and we'll go to that folder. Here we can see that eMDR CF-XXX01.zip. This is what we actually created. So we're going to select that, and we will select the upload queue button. This is now transferring this zip file to FDA's portal. Now we will hit the next button. Here we will select the receiving center. Since our submission is related to medical device, we will select CDRH to the option number 3, and then we will select what type of submission is it. So this is an adverse event submission. You can also see electronic submission and GeoDID submission that can be submitted using this portal. So we're selecting adverse event, and if you want to add any special note for the submission, we can add it here. And then finally we will sign and hit the submit button. Since this is a demo or a mock submission, we're not going to hit submit. We will actually cancel this package because it's a mock submission. After submission, we will proceed to the step number 4, which is ensuring the success of the submission. On this dashboard, you will see the status tracker, where it includes all the previous submissions, all the submission you just submitted. To find out the status of the submission, we will click on that file name, and we will go to a page where we will get a core ID. a summary of the submission, and right next to that there is a status history. We will click that status history button and we will see different acknowledgements provided by FDA. Under status history, we will see multiple acknowledgements. First acknowledgement was for upload received. Second acknowledgement was for submitted to center. Third one is response from the center. So we will actually open the third acknowledgement and see the status, whether the submission passed or failed. We actually have to wait few hours or few minutes to receive the third acknowledgement, depending on the FDA's website server situation. Now we will click the view button and then we have to download that acknowledgement file. After downloading, we will open and take a look at the entire summary. There's a row at the very bottom that says summary, and it gives you whether the submission was passed or failed. If it shows passed, then our submission is successful. For record keeping purposes, we can download all these acknowledgements and save it in our folder for future references. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching. If this helped you understand eMDR submission a bit better, give it a like and subscribe for more quick tips on medical device regulations. Hit the bell icon so that you don't miss our next video. Stay compliant, and I'll see you soon.